Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Welcome! It's the Woodward Nights, baby. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Let's go.
Appreciate you guys all tuning in. It's Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Let's have a night, fellas. Let's do it, Chris. I just gave up who's in the booth here today. I was just so excited. We got Chris in here. Jamin right now is on the IR.
Yeah, he's on the IR, but he's off the pup list. So I think he'll be back soon.
He's going to be back very, very soon.
He's eligible to return this week.
Yes, we took him off the IR and we put him back on the pup or the list to where he has 21 days to get back.
Yeah,
and it's 3 days to get back. So
otherwise he gets cut.
No.
I'm kidding, Jason.
Otherwise, what happens is he gets put on the waivers, and then other shows can start picking him up, and then we don't want that. We don't want that to happen. So we're gonna make sure we reactivate him probably tomorrow. Jalen will be back. We've got Nick in the sound booth.
Let's go, boys. We are 1 day closer to 5-1, and I'm 1 day closer to being down in Tampa to watch it happen. Let's go.
Sideline reporter.
Come on. Let's go,
don't
baby.
get
We're gonna go live to you
Baker
in the
Mayfield
stands.
interview.
I'm gonna get some good vids for the show. I'll try to get some vids tearing up Tampa.
Do you see that Baker thumbnail we got tonight?
Oh, it was great.
Ryan Lentz at work.
Shout out to him too.
Yeah,
beautiful thumbnail. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. We have a packed show for you today. There's been some Lions news going around. They signed a couple players. Broder, our beat reporter here, that's on the show. We'll talk about this a little bit. We're gonna go Detroit Lions for the first about hour here, and then we're gonna get into the around the NFL with our power rankings. I'm really disappointed though, fellas. No Pete Prisco clown segment.
We can clown on his picks earlier, like of how different his list is this week than in weeks prior. Pete Prisco. We need some consistency, my guy.
We do, and I did put the Pete Prisco graphics in there, so we will talk about the list and around the NFL different lists where the lines are at. But
how about this, Booner, Lorena Rios, Woodward Knights, the Miami Vice of Detroit.
Ooh, I like that. I love that. Look at that vibe.
A little bit of inspiration.
Right there. Yeah. Beautiful vibe.
I love that backdrop.
I love Miami too, by the way. Best vacation place I've
place
been
with the sunset low.
The best.
It's my favorite vacation spot.
Listen. The move when you're in Miami is act like you can't dance.
Really?
And they love that shit. Oh, they love to teach you how to dance. Come here, Papi. Let me teach you.
Papi.
It's all Spanish music.
Thanks for getting me hard,
the
JB.
The wildest thing about it is that all you hear is Spanish music, so it's Bad Bunny, and then it's like Cardi B, and then it's all rap that's like 2010, 2012. Like there's nothing
favorites.
in between.
I do want to throw a little alley-oop here,
It's a
dude,
great
Chris.
selection.
Do you have the Terry Foster video?
Did you send it?
Yeah, it was the last thing I sent. If you don't, I'll give you a couple seconds
give me
here.
a couple
But let me just kind of preface this real quick. Chris is acting like act like you can't dance. I don't know if Chris can actually dance.
No, I can't dance for it.
So you said it, you were like, act like you can't do it. It's like, dude, you just went out there and tried to dance, and you just couldn't dance.
Got that stanky leg?
Yeah,
The hot steaky leg, and I think he has it now.
Give me one more second.
One more second, Chris. Let's go. We're talking about dancing.
I got to put a backdrop. It's worth the wait.
So this was this morning on the Woodward and Main show.
Yep.
Terry Foster. We were talking about Aiden Hutchinson, and we started talking about his post-sack dance moves, and Terry decided to do a little demonstration.
Yes,
and
he did.
It was good.
Gotta capture this.
Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, there it is.
And the stanky leg. Funky chicken, stanky leg. And that's safer than Billie Jean, which is bam, 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 popping that knee. You can't do that.
Billie Jean's not that girl.
Billie Jean is a dangerous dance.
What a legend.
Oh my gosh, that was unbelievable.
The man.
What a legend.
He was hitting it too.
I am a fan of guys with big butts.
Big
got
it. Big Simmy says, I think Booter should do the funky chicken live right now. I don't even know what the funky chicken was.
You know, funky, like,
that's it, really?
I think so.
Oh,
Am I doing that right?
That's just a
Biggins?
chicken dance.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man.
What is that?
That's just
a chicken dance.
Yeah, it's just a chicken dance, I believe.
Well, if I'm doing it, it's funky.
Yeah.
I'll try the funky chicken by the end of the show. I don't know. I'll think about it.
200 likes. Booner does the funky chicken.
Yeah, 200 likes. I'll do the funky chicken live.
Yes.
And I'll really, and one of these commercial breaks, I'll look it up and I'll lock in and do it real good. You know, Chris, I actually know how to dance.
Don't go to me for that confirmation.
You were talking about the dancing in Miami, man. I just had to kind of figure that out. Next thing here, though, we want to talk about Dan Campbell in the locker room. I know there's Detroit Lions are 4-1. We're going to talk a lot about the Detroit Lions today, kind of not into Tampa yet. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow, Broder. But I think this is a good kind of end to the talk of the Panthers game. I think it's like, let's move on. Let's start talking about the Lions a little bit more in depth outside of the Panthers game and kind of what level they're on, which we're going to talk about their ceiling, their floor. We're going to talk about their defense, kind of adding some pieces to it. We're going to go over some all-pro players right now on this team, and we're going to go into some awards that we have for the Detroit Lions as of now. But this Dan Campbell post-game interview, I don't know if you guys have seen all of these, and they've posted every single one after every game. I want to run through a brick wall every time I see these videos. I love Dan Campbell. I've made it very well known to where if I ever meet Dan Campbell, the first thing I'm going to say is, Dan, can we go grab a beer? Like, that's all I want. I just want to have a beer with Dan Campbell. It's these videos like these that get you going and keep this whole Detroit Lions team just
jacked up,
motivated, and wanting to do next.
You know what I love? I love when you guys indirectly tell your coach, relax, we got it. We got it. All right? That's exactly what you guys did out there. You know what good teams do? They don't give a shit who they play. They don't care about the environment, who's playing for them, who's playing for us, what the records are. When you smell competition, you show up. And you guys just proved it again today. You did what you're supposed to do. You did exactly what you're supposed to do. That's what good teams do. Guys, that's 4. You just keep your attitude just like it is right now. And we'll go wherever we want to go, I promise you. I've seen too much of it. I've seen way too much fall as a player and a coach. Trust me, we'll be all right. We'll be just fine. All right, we got the right dudes in this room. We got the right dudes and the right coaches. All right, I got one game ball. Where's my game ball at? And we'll get into this in a couple of days, okay? But this guy, Hunger's start, man. He's been here for years.
We've got the right dudes and we've got the right coaches. Shout out to Dan Campbell, man.
I've seen enough ball. He said, is that what he said? He said something like that.
Seen enough
That's
ball.
my favorite comment of it all. Dan Campbell's been around the game for a long time, and he knows what a good team looks like. And you could tell he's got that little sense of confidence. And he shared it with them, dude. That gets me going too, man.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not just Dan Campbell. It's all of these coaches have that mindset that Dan Campbell has, and he's just put it onto all of them. He's put that all to them. They all have it.
Do you think Jordan Love would have played better if he had Dan Campbell getting him ready for that Monday Night Football game last night?
No, Jordan Love's he's done.
You think he's done?
Dude, he's thrown 5 interceptions in the last. I think listen. The Detroit Lions broke Jordan Love. The Detroit Lions single-handedly, he had 7 touchdowns and 1 interception, or 2 interceptions heading into the Detroit Lions game. He's thrown 5 interceptions since. They broke him. Aiden Hutchinson broke him. Jerry Jacobs broke him.
Ali McNeil
broke him.
Charles Harris
broke him.
Will Harris.
Bugs broke him. Hutch broke him.
Actually, Brian Branch played that game.
Brian Branch, Aaron Glenn. I mean, Jordan Love's might be done. I'm just so happy that the Packers don't have a Hall of Fame quarterback.
But you know it's fixed and working, Booner. Tell us about Woodward and Maine.
Woodward and Maine, baby. Let me tell you guys about that real quick. Our one and only Matt Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter, is on this show as well. That is the Lions Insider Show, hosted by Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, Terry Foster, Detroit legend Terry Foster at that. Tuesdays 7 to 8 a.m. and Sundays 9 to 8 a.m. Make sure you guys tune into that on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
And we're back. Apparently there's another defensive end who's hurt, another edge rusher who's hurt. He said it might increase the chances of Aiden Hutchinson, whether it's moving up that Pro Bowl rank, moving up the Defensive Player of the Year ranks. Booner, talk to me.
It is T.J. Watt. The exact injury in here, let me pull this up because I want to make sure. We don't have a graphic for it, but his injury said T.J. Watt suffered a badly dislocated finger and tore multiple ligaments in Sunday's win over Baltimore. And Watt is supposed to, they said at the end of the season he's going to have surgery for it. My guess is he's going to end up playing with some sort of club, you would think, or some type of rap. I don't know how much it's T.J. Watt at the end of the day. Like, he's outside of last year, I think I saw a stat to where 3 of the last 4 seasons, he's led the league in sacks.
He's very good at football.
So even with that, but I mean, that's just another guy to where Hutch is top 4 in the Defensive Player of the Year standings. TJ Watt's above him, and he might be the favorite. Now, okay, he's hurt. Another spot for Hutch.
Spots are opening up. TJ Watt, he could be playing with that club like Kaminsky did last year. It's playable. It looks weird out there, but it's playable.
And it's TJ Watt, dude. At the end of the day, he's the best defensive player in the league.
Yeah,
I'll stand by that. Also, here we did want to bring this graphic up. People, listen. If you guys haven't seen this yet,
I haven't.
This is an insane stat. It kind of puts in perspective what Sam Laporta is doing right now. When did Kyle Pitts get drafted? Do you guys remember what overall pick? Was it top 7 or 8?
7, 8. Was it before?
I think it might have been 4, boys.
So
I mean, double check for you.
5,
You guys get into the stat. I'll check for you.
So, Chris, whenever you're ready, if you want to pull this graphic up with Sam Laporta and Kyle Pitts, this graphic is insane because we know Sam Laporta. We got him in the 2nd round and fell to us. And Brad Holmes actually was. There was multiple people who were saying Michael Mayer, Luke Musgraves, all these different guys, Darnell Washington, are all better than Sam Laporta. They stuck to their guns, and so he went 4th overall. They stuck to their guns, and they said, hey, no, we're taking our guy, and we believe this guy's real. The stat that I found today, where Sam Laporta has the same amount of touchdown catches as Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has 3 career touchdown passes, Sam Laporta 3.
Wow.
In 5 games. That is a 4th overall pick to a 2nd round pick.
Damn.
How crazy is that, boys?
Didn't Pitts have like 2 in his first game also? Like
He
started hot.
You know what?
Something like that.
To be fair, on my end, I didn't even stat check that. I just saw that and got so excited. And
Bro.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. He might have more than 3. No, he has 3.
Pitt's career hasn't begun like everyone expected yet. He's shown some flashes, but he hasn't really shown it all. Actually had a decent game this past weekend, but I think we're all comparing the two. We'd all be happy with Sam Laporta today.
And 3-on-3 court said Pitts never had a quarterback though. Quarterback or not, if you're an elite tight end, in my opinion, you're still gonna like Sam Laporta. I know he has a good quarterback and a good offense right now, and that's why he has 3. But in 3 seasons is the 4th overall pick. That you just can't have an excuse at that point.
Yeah.
You're in your 3rd season. You were the number 4th overall pick as a tight end. 3 touchdowns compared to a guy you get in the 2nd round in 5 games has 3. That's absurd. It's crazy.
Absurd. Didn't he have Matt Ryan for a year? Or was it all been all Desmond Ridder?
No, Matt Ryan, I believe, year 1, year 2, Marcus Mariota, and then half Desmond Ridder, and then this year Desmond Ridder.
All right. Nice.
So I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, they're not great quarterbacks, but 4th overall pick, 3.
Yeah, Flow Guy 25 says Ridder is Mariota but 10 years younger. That's pretty accurate.
It is. Next thing here, Broder, this is you here. Let's go over our Week 5 NFL picks real quick. I know you have that in there. We have it updated.
Spread the love. There's been a change in the rankings. Booner, you moved out of a sole possession of 4th place.
Yes.
So I'll start with you. You went 6-4 on the week to move your season record to 20-16.
Over 500. Let's go.
You're over 500, so you're tied for 3rd place with a combination of Jalen, Parker, Lucas, Platte. I won't put you in this group yet because of the week that they had. Who was it? Parker picked on Friday. He went 3 for 7 on the week. Was in 1st place, dropped down to 3rd, 20-16. Nick, you and I got a tie at the top, my friend.
Let's go. Let's hear that record.
You went 6-4 on the week, bumping up to 22-14.
I took some shots. I was right on the Jags for sure.
You went 6-4 as well?
Yeah, I definitely got a few wrong.
You picked the Texans, the Ravens, the Patriots, and the Rams. They all lost. That's a tough one.
That one's tough.
Moved to 22-4. I did have a big week. I went 8-2. 8-2 on the week. I picked the Bills and the Ravens. Those are my 2 losses, and I would pick them again if I had the chance. So I moved to 22-14 also.
So who did I pass up?
Season. Who'd you pass up?
What's the standings? The standings so far for our pickup.
Nick and I are tied for 1st. You guys are tied for 2nd or 3rd, however you want to put it. You guys got the same record. Nick and I are
How many
at the
games
top.
back are we?
2.
Okay, I'll catch that this week.
Got a game, baby.
I'm gonna pick against you guys a lot.
There it was. Hey.
That was huge. Before we go to break here, though, Broder, kind of there's no injury news for the Detroit Lions today. Off day for the Lions at Allen Park Tuesday, as always. But Brad Holmes was at Allen Park, and he was making some moves. They were signing some players. Do you want to kind of tell us a little bit about, because they did sign a corner.
Yeah.
Lions signed a corner.
Yeah. Anthony Everett Last was on the roster with the 49ers, but people might remember him more from his time with the Baltimore Ravens. They signed him to the practice squad, but it's starting to seem like he may be one that they elevate to the active roster, depending on what they do with Stephen Gilmore. Khalil Dorsey's coming back from the injured list too, or at least is eligible. So they got some decisions to make, but he's a veteran. He's 28 years old. He's not very big. He's 180 pounds, and he's battled injuries over his career. So that's one thing to look out for, but he's also started, I think it was 27 games in his 5-year career with the Ravens and with the Raiders in 22 after missing the beginning of the season with the broken thumb. So he's one of those guys. He's a true cornerback. He plays primarily on the outside. He's not one of the flex safeties. He's not a nickel safety. He's on the outside. He should be pretty good. A good veteran addition for the Lions. And to pair that, a tight end, Anthony Firksker, was also signed to the practice squad.
I do wonder with that corner. I was interested because I went and watched some film on him when he was with the Ravens and saw he actually made a couple big plays. Like there was a game where they were playing the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe they were winning, and there was like a third down conversion, and he was one-on-one with Tyreek Hill, and he won the battle with Tyreek Hill. So, and it was a third down. It was one of the biggest plays of the game, it sounded like, and he went out there and did that. So, if you can go do that versus the top team at Arrowhead and kind of get that done, I respect you a bit. So I'm excited to see what he could do. Obviously, he's not going to be a tight or a corner 1 or 2.
No.
So he's just that kind of third spot that you were hoping to have 3 guys. Maybe they'll still make a move, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later here on the defense, whether they're going to make a move, trade for a guy or whatever it is. But I think it's still a decent move to get a guy like that on your practice squad.
Yeah, they needed
with
a piece.
20-something starts, a little bit.
With Mosley going down,
experience.
they just needed a piece. They needed some depth. Whether this guy is the answer or he's the practice squad replacement, we'll see. We'll see. But,
yes, let's do it.
Come on back, 8:15. We're going to be talking about the Detroit Lions a little bit more. Booner put together a pretty interesting question he's going to phrase to us. But first, Nick's got to tell us about Academy of Warren.
And at the Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art Sports Dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football with grades K through 8 that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K through 8 athletics. They are now accepting new enrollment. Go to theacademyofwarren.net.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
All right, Outdoor Equipment Company, let's talk about it. The official equipment provider of Woodward Sports Network, Michigan-grown, family-owned, bad boy mowers, tractors, style handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, generic generators, snow X-plows, and salters. Listen, they have it all. Make sure you guys go over to Outdoor Equipment Co. They have everything you need. Buy it, rent it, 0% financing, delivery right to your doorstep. That is at Outdoor. You see it right there, outdoorequipco.com. All right, fellas. Let's have a great show here. We're getting right into it. Welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Make sure you guys haven't already. Hit that like button. Tell a friend and share the show. Let people know about Woodward Nights. I think we're about over a month in now, and we're growing a bit here.
This show 24.
Broder has it locked on. I think he has a little stat sheet, a box score.
Hey, I'm the scat man.
Does it show how many arguments that I've won?
Oh yeah, 0.0.
Oh man, that sucks. I need to get better at my job.
It's true.
It's all those comments that I read that say this Booner guy sucks.
Yeah. Right. We have the most honest fan base.
I do, and I love it. I always respond to them.
Knowledgeable fan base.
You know what I do when I hear people hate, like people are like, man, this guy sucks. This man needs braces. This man's ugly. Coming back, be like, yeah, that man is so ugly, bro. His takes are terrible.
You comment from the burner, like Kevin Durant.
Not coming straight from the straight my main profile. I'll just comment and be like, yeah, this guy sucks, and it's me.
Easy money sniper.
Let's talk about the Detroit Lions here. There's kind of a new outlook after going 4-1. The Seahawks game kind of moved things around a little bit, whether it was record predictions or if it was the ceiling moved, the floor moved. I know there was a lot of people here at Woodward who moved their ceiling as soon as that Seahawks game hit 0-0. And there were some of us, for example, us on this show, who still kept similar expectations and say, hey, we're going to be just fine. Now, Broder, I want to see where your ceiling is right now. We're 4-1. Detroit Lions are 4-1. They have one of the easiest schedules left in the NFL. We'll start with the ceiling and then we'll move to the floor. Has your ceiling changed at all since the start of the season?
It has. I always thought the ceiling, the best case scenario for the Lions this season was 13 wins. Would be 13-4. I'm gonna raise that. I'm gonna go their ceiling. They do have the potential to get to 14-3. And if I'm being really honest, it was difficult to pick those 2 extra losses. I mean, they should be favored in the rest of their games for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So they could, you look game by game, they win out. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they give 2 to somebody. Maybe it's the Ravens, maybe it's the Chargers, maybe the Saints. We'll see. But I have the new ceiling of 14-3.
14-3.
Yeah, up from 13-4.
Now, I'll step further with the ceiling. How far? Like, what is your postseason expectation? What's your ceiling for the postseason?
I think they should expect to make it to the Super Bowl. I think that should be their expectations. That should be their goal for the season. If it wasn't already, they should know by this point already in the season, regardless of who they played, that they're a team that can play with anybody in the NFL.
Love that.
I'm not going to dub them the NFC's best team yet. The 49ers still look ridiculous to me.
Compete, though.
But they can, any given Sunday, any team can beat anybody. So I think they should expect to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at with it. And I put here my ceiling. Before, my ceiling was maybe the ceiling was you get multiple playoff wins. You get to the second, maybe you have a chance to get to the NFC Championship and in a game to compete for it. I didn't think a Super Bowl or winning the conference championship was the ceiling before. The new ceiling to me for the Detroit Lions team, and if I'm being completely honest, is to win the Super Bowl. And when I say ceiling, that means what's the max of this team. I'm not saying they can do that and they're going to do that. Mm-hmm. I'm saying the max that this team can do. You're sitting up there right now as a top 5 team, in my opinion. We're going to do our power rankings in a little bit. You're a top 5 team. If you're a top 5 team in any professional sports league, you have a chance to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that is a fact. That's done. No question about it. If you want to sit here and argue with me that they're not a top 5 team, then maybe that's a different conversation. But I have them as a top 5 team in the NFL. I think majority of media, a majority of fan bases, a majority of the NFL can sit there and say, hey, this Detroit Lions team is serious. They're a top 5 team in the NFL right now, and they can compete for a Super Bowl. They're legit contenders. That is your ceiling now. And when we start getting into these topics about what players you should bring in, our power rankings, we're going to talk. I'm going to look at it as that, is that this is a team that's contending for a Super Bowl this year. They're going for what's the trophy called, fellas?
Lombardi.
The Lombardi! Everyone around the room looked at me like I was crazy for a second.
No.
We just haven't talked about the Lombardi Trophy ever in Detroit. And we're talking about the Lombardi Trophy right now. Chris?
Well, let's go a step further. What has Dan Campbell been saying in all these post-game clips that we've been seeing? Is that the road goes through Detroit.
Yes.
That is their mentality, is that they are gunning for that number 1 seed. They are gunning for a home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And again, that's their goal, that's their expectation within that locker room. And now it's up to them to just take it week by week and get the results.
That's the biggest thing, too, is there was this game, and I know everyone's so high on the 49ers, which we are as well. They're the best team in the football right now, and they just dominated the Cowboys. But there's a difference to me right now in the Cowboys and some of these contenders. Like, there's a difference between the Cowboys right now and the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And it's a clear difference on the way they're going about games and competing and the way the franchise is right now. So I don't even look at that 42-10 game. I just look at, hey, if the Detroit Lions right now had the 49ers at home, that's a football game.
That would be.
It is a football game.
How fun would that be?
And I know there's a lot. They probably wouldn't be favored. But they're going to go in there, especially if say it's at Ford Field, they're going to go in there with the chance to win that football game, especially if guys are healthy.
And in that situation, they're not a team, and I'm not trying to throw shade on the Cowboys, although feel free to let it happen. They're not going to lose 42-10. Like, that's not in their DNA anymore with the Detroit Lions. They're going to play the 49ers tough, whether they beat them or not in this hypothetical home game that they have. It's going to be a close game. They're going to battle down to the wire. It's not going to be a blowout.
That's what it is with this. Like, welcome to being a contender.
Yeah.
Go look at the playoffs. There are some games that are blowouts in the playoffs. Once you get to that Final Four and those conference championship, typically, fellas, it's close games. These are the best teams in the league. You're going down to the wire every time. It's the NFL. It's a one-possession game. Even if you're playing the worst team in the league and the best team in the league, most of the time it's going to be a one-possession. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see a spread in double digits, and in college you see 20-point spreads. So now I'm going to tell you guys real quick about the Lions post-game show, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, we'll get into the floor here. So Detroit Lions post-game show. Make sure you guys tune in directly after Lions games, hosted by Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day, with different weekly special guests. Maybe you'll see one of us up there one time. They take callers. They break down the game, what happened after the Lions hopefully get maybe a Super Bowl win one day. Those guys are going to hold it down here in the studio. Make sure you guys tune in on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Ooh, floor, baby.
Floor, yeah. So I'll go first with the floor here then.
Send it.
Before, the floor was, hey, let's just win the division. Like, you're the best team in the NFC North. I think that's fair.
It needs to be. That needs to be happen.
Yes, that was the floor. You finished last year 8-2. You were 5-1 in the division. The floor going into this year was win the division, make the playoffs. That was it. I think right now, obviously the division's still the floor. The minimum you want out of this Detroit Lions team is a playoff win. Where you're at right now and how good you're at being ranked as a top 5 team in the NFL, you're in that expectation and the Buffalo Bills, they have an expectation right now of going to win a playoff game every year. The Bengals, they had that expectation. The Dolphins right now, they have that expectation. The Chiefs, the 49ers, the Eagles, you're in that group of teams right now, Detroit. Your floor is you have to go out there and get a playoff win. That is the floor now. If you're going to be in the top 5 in the power rankings and you're going to be put with all of these teams, you have the same expectations as all of them. Go win a playoff game. That's my floor.
I love that. And I can get right on board with that too, Booner. I'm going to give you the record floor that I have in mind. And it's up a game from what I had at the beginning of the season. I had them at 10-5 floor, which is what I thought needs to be the minimum amount of wins. Anything less than that, I'd be disappointed. And I think if they end up with this record, oddly enough, I'd be disappointed too, and that's 11-6. I think just looking at their schedule, it's so easy. As it stands right now, I know it's football, and on any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody, but they're going to be favored in every single game for the rest of the year, likely. Maybe not the Baltimore game, we'll see. But they need to go out and take care of business. I had them picked for a 12-5 season. I'm going to stay there on the season, but they really should be getting that 13th win. The way it's played out, and that puts them in contention for that number 1 seed.
My original, my bad guys, I didn't kind of put my record prediction out there.
No, that's fine.
To start the season, that Tuesday when we did our first predictions before the Thursday night game, I had the Detroit Lions at 13-4. And then obviously after the Seattle game, we did basically what we're doing now. Hey, where are we at? Where's our heads at? And I was like, all right, maybe 13, maybe 12, I think was kind of the floor. And I think that's kind of where I'm at right now, is I think maybe 10 or 11 is the floor. But I'm still sitting there at that 13-4, and I'm gonna stay packed with 13-4. I think with the you're 31st. You have the 31st easiest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, they're tied with who's ever number 32.
Yeah,
like it's easy right now.
You definitely on this schedule right now. You have 9 more wins. The Detroit Lions have 9 more wins on that schedule.
And you look at Cowboys, 49ers, and the Eagles schedule. It's treacherous. Like that Eagles schedule what was I looking at? The 49ers schedule coming up. No, I'm sorry. The next 9 games are treacherous for the Eagles.
They are.
It's nuts, and they end with the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants. So they have a little cushion there at the end. But who knows if the
So
Giants?
do the Lions, really, because Vikings twice.
Who knows? They could be tanking. The Bears. You never know.
There might be Kirk Cousins. Justin Jefferson might be sitting now. I saw a tweet today that said Justin Jefferson's hurt, obviously on IR, but they said that since they're already 1-4, that he might consider sitting out because he doesn't have a contract.
Yeah.
Yet. So you don't know what's going to happen there. This is a tough question. It's crazy to think that we're in this spot. Can the Detroit Lions really get a number 1 seed? Is that like a real possibility with the strength of schedule?
We'll see. Why don't we give our answers right when we come back from break?
All right.
Tease it, Booner, because I'm going to tell you guys about Mark White Real Estate first. Because when you're buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. So sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That's exactly what you can do with the Mark White and Associates minute-by-minute listing agreement. So if you're looking to buy or sell real estate, visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. Again, markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Just in time for football. Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good, it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in the honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. So smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Check us out online at www.canna.com.
Oh,
Glorious! Hey, shout out Easy in the chat. Appreciate you guys all tuning in to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys, if you have not already, smack that like button. Some reason, Chris said that if we hit 200 likes, I will dance for the people.
yeah.
And I
want to see Booner dance.
I do things for the people. So I would like it to hit 200 likes, and I'll dance. What's it called again?
The funky chicken.
The funky chicken, as T-Foss called it. We'll go back, we'll replay the video, and I will do what T-Foss did. I'll do both of them. That and the Aiden Hutchinson dance. 200 likes. Let's get it.
Please.
Real quick, let's get back into this just super quick before we get onto the defense here. The number 1 seed, we kind of teased that a little bit. Broder, do you believe that this is a serious conversation that the Lions could get a number 1 seed? And Chris, can we do a poll on that as well?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Great idea. I think it's a serious conversation that we need to have. I'm not there yet, but I don't think it's an outrageous conversation. They're going to be there in the mix at the end with the 49ers, with the Eagles, I believe. Who knows if another team comes out of the woodwork, but they're going to be in the mix. I mean, just looking at how they're playing and their schedule in front of them, it's just hard for me to look and see the 49ers get 3 losses. Just looking at it's a tough schedule, but just the way they look right now, I can't find that game yet. But their schedule is tough, and again, it's the NFL. There could be injuries. You never know who can beat somebody on any given Sunday.
So I'm going to throw this out here real quick. Obviously, the 49ers, all right, their toughest games. They play the Bengals. Well, they play the Browns this week, which the Browns always will be. That defense will keep them in the game no matter what. but on the road. They play the Bengals. Maybe the Bengals would be back, and maybe they shock the 49ers. They play the Eagles on the road. Hopefully that's a loss because that would help out for a 1 seed. The Ravens, I don't know how they have the top 10 strength of schedule. It does not look like a tough schedule.
The Eagles or the 49ers?
Yeah. They play the Rams, win. Commanders, win. Ravens, win. Cardinals, win. Seahawks twice, win. Bucks, win. Maybe the Jags, the Vikings, win. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but a few of those are very tough games. Like Trevor Lawrence could have a game.
Seahawks.
Seattle is tough.
Twice
they
as
got
well.
Cleveland this week. Like that's going to be a physical game.
The Rams are way better than I expected this year.
The Rams are better than expected.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't win those games, but in a world, you can see a world in which 3 of those are end up being L's just because of football and and attrition.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did the
Chris.
Eagles schedule pulled up, or you want me to tell you about that?
What do they have? I'm sure it's something similar, but they're
No, it's insane, dude. They got their next few games: Jets, Dolphins, Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys, Seahawks, Eagles, Cardinals, Giants.
Okay, so I'll say this then. I think they can get the 1
Dude.
seed, and I think it's realistic to say there is a little bit of a chance for a 1 seed. But the most realistic, I think, is, hey, let's go for that 2 seed.
Yeah.
And let's hope maybe the 49ers get knocked off in the first 2 rounds. Or, I mean, obviously they get a bye, but maybe they get knocked off at some point. Or
Maybe their top 3 quarterbacks get injured.
Or, I mean, they have Christian McCaffrey, who is injury prone and has been injured his whole career. Debo Samuel,
Well, then why would you try to trade for him in fantasy this week, bro?
I was making some
You're a
trades.
scam
today.
artist, bro.
Yeah.
The thing though with the Lions is look at their last since they went 8-2 last year. They're 12-3 in their last 15 games.
It's a good season.
They keep doing that, they're going to win 13, 14, 15 games. Like that if they play at that level it just shows they're 12-3 in 15 games.
Yeah.
Like they're going to keep doing that and they're going to compete for it.
Depends how they can ride that defense. You talked often before the season started about if they can get into the top 15, if they can be middle of the pack. I think that's what you said, middle of the pack, right?
If you're top 15 defense and you have a top 10 offense, there's only 3 or 4 teams last year that did that, and they were all contenders.
Yes, and they're there. The defense is playing well. They just have a little issue right now with their secondary. Their depth is being tested.
Yes.
It's been valuable for them headed into this game, heading into this season. But we've had some injuries. The Lions have continued to have a couple guys go down. Now we saw Emmanuel Mosley go down. So I want to talk about how they're going to replace him, whether it's through a trade, through a free agent signing. Are they going to do some different things with their current roster? I guess, what are your initial thoughts? The secondary looking a bit slim, my guy.
Yeah, my initial thoughts when we talked about doing this in the prep, first thing that popped in my head is this is the closest the Detroit Lions, I think, almost ever have been to being Super Bowl contenders.
In my lifetime.
So when you're talking about being a buyer or seller at the trade deadline and you're looking at the secondary and the defense, like maybe you could use a piece on the defensive line. Your secondary is very, very slim. You've lost 2 guys out for this season, at least. You lost a guy on the defensive line for the season. And when you're still doing that and you've lost those guys and you're still sitting there as a contender in the NFL and the closest you've ever been in the history, at least in my lifetime, maybe of all time in the franchise history, I think you have to, and I think Brad Holmes has no choice but to be a huge buyer and to kind of go all in right now.
And when you say huge buyer, are you in the camp of going after a big piece, like a starter, going and getting a starter from another team, or
I'm
adding
almost at
depth
that point.
Okay.
I'm almost in chat. People in the chat, let me know if I'm thinking wrong here. It just clicked in my head today, though, when I was sitting there typing this up, and I was like, this is the closest that they've been to a Super Bowl ever. They've never been at this point. They're 4-1, and they're considered a top 5 team in the NFL. And your guys are dropping in the secondary and on the defensive line to where if you have a chance to be a buyer, and Brad Holmes has the money, he has the pieces to go out and buy people, I think you almost do it because you just, like, if you go get a piece or 2, that defense turns into a top 5 solidified defense, and you're competing there with the 49ers then, and you have a chance to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
I think you do it. And I know I did say, hey, I don't want to Max Crosby because of the money and you have to pay guys. Maybe not get a Max Crosby. There's guys out there on their final season that they're going to be available.
100%. And do you think that body that they go get, that starter, or just for the sake of this conversation, should be in the secondary? Should it be a linebacker? Should it be a defensive end? It's more edge rushing help, a defensive tackle.
I think either edge rushing or secondary. And I see here real quick, Joshua Dunzeth, great listener. He's always in the chat. He said 5 games in, bro. Chill. You're considered right now. I mean, what are you talking about? 5 games in. The Bills don't just start the season 4-1 and be like, "Hey, we're actually not Super Bowl contenders. We're only 5 games in the season." Like, if you watch the games and you watch football, you know that this is a legit football team. In the past, they were 5-0, and you're like, maybe they're going to lose some more. You don't have that confidence. No, you're sitting there like the Chiefs. They don't just go 4-1 and go, let's wait until week 10 to see if we're a Super Bowl contender. No, they go into that and they know they have a team. The Detroit Lions have a football team right now. There's no watch and wait. The trade deadline's in 3 weeks. Either you go get someone and you go contend to win the Lombardi Trophy, or you go sit down on your couch and you just go with what you have. I say you go all in and you go win a Lombardi. I know it's 4-1, but you're a top 5 team in the NFL right now. We're not 4-1 and we're sitting here ranked 7th. We're ranked 8th. No, everyone in the NFL right now, national media, is sitting here telling you that you're a Super Bowl contender and you can compete with the best of them. And it's not just because you won a few games. It's because you've dominated a few games.
Yeah, it's how you won those 4 games. You went into Arrowhead and beat...
Sorry, John. I like you, Joshua.
I'd be on that wave
teams,
if you
played better teams, Joshua. Listen, you've dominated these teams. You were dominating the Packers. You were dominating the Panthers.
Tell them.
You were in the game with the Seahawks. You're a coin toss away from being 5-0 and dominating these football teams. You went on the road and beat the Packers and the Chiefs. It's not a fluke. It's a football team.
And they're doing it in a way that translates to winning against good teams too. They're using their physicality, that offensive line. They're using the run game. And then Jared Goff looks as good as he has in his entire career. The pieces are coming together, whether it's the Panthers that we blew out 42-24 or another team. They're the real deal. And we see in the chat poll, 74 votes, 78% say that the Lions can get the number 1 seed. So there's a feeling about that. They are the real deal. Yeah. I'm with, I forget who said it. Someone said, go and get 2 different pieces. I'm in that camp of going and add to that cornerback room. I haven't decided if I want a top-end cornerback or if I'm comfortable with Jerry Jacobs, who's playing well. I do think Jerry Jacobs needs to be a part of that top 3 core, so I hope they don't replace him. But I also think you need more I don't know if it's edge or interior rushing, but you need more beef on that defensive line.
You know what I actually would like? Someone in the chat, can't remember who it was. I want to look up a contract here real quick. But someone in the chat did say, hey, Booner, if you do want them to make a move, who are like 2 pieces you would like? One piece I think everyone's talking about, obviously, is Patrick Surtain. Mm-hmm. And I know the contract situation, and he has a 4-year deal right now, I believe it is. That's what I was looking up. 4 years, $21 million, I believe, or... maybe that's projected. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to. Don't quote me on that. But that would be, obviously, if you're going to add to the secondary right now,
that'd be great.
The corner room, Patrick Surtain's obviously number 1, and it depends if Brad Holmes wants to spend the money and go get a guy that has the contract. If you do that, I think you have a choice here, Broder. I think you have a choice to where you could pick either a D-line or secondary. You can go pay someone, like get a Max Crosby or go get a Patrick Surtain. And if you don't do that, then you have to bring in like an Ndamukong Suh in the inside there to fill in that defensive line at a veteran minimum at some, like, within the next couple weeks or maybe in the next month. Yeah. And then you fill it in that way. Because you still have Josh Pascal coming back. You still have a couple of guys coming back to where Brad Holmes is probably strategically looking at this like, if we get Chase Young, maybe that's why they were having talks about Chase Young. That's why they brought in that veteran corner there, because they knew that they're going to go after a D lineman. Yeah. So I think you still bring 2 pieces in on this defensive line and the secondary, but you just can't go in and pay 2 to get 2 big time guys.
I like that Ndamukong Suh idea. That's taking a page out of the Eagles, which we see a lot of similarities in what the Eagles and what the 49ers. Yeah. They even throw the Rams in there. Obviously, we know Brad Holmes is connected to the Rams, but they do similar things. My worry about Patrick Surtain, he would be incredible on this team. He's a star in the making. He's already a star. But I think it would cost too much draft capital. You would have to pay him when that contract comes out.
First and a second.
Yeah, would you guys give him just a 1? It'd be a late first rounder if we're going to go as deep as expected. Maybe. Would you be willing to part with a 1? Because he is an elite number 1 lockdown corner. And we know that Mosley's not signed next year. Jerry Jacobs isn't signed next year. are you willing to move off a late first rounder to go for an elite guy like Surtain?
I almost would.
I would.
Because if it's a late first round, like if you're doing that, that's because, like I said, you're going for a Super Bowl
exactly.
and you're going to win it all. So if you do that, you're probably getting, 29th, 30th, like 31st. Like you're not getting a great pick, which is still a first round pick. But knowing Brad Holmes, if he gives it up, he always finds a way to either get back in or he finds a way to kind of still get. And you could trust Brad Holmes. He's drafted great late in the last 3-4 years. I do with the Sue thing too, is we talked about it at the beginning of the year when I was on the morning Woodward show filling in for Flannel. Me and Jeff talked about, is Sue like someone you want to bring in? And Jeff's point, which was a fair point, was Sue's going to want to wait and be on an actual contending team. So Jeff, obviously at that time we didn't know where we were going to be at.
Yeah.
Now I think it's very clear that the Lions can contend. So that is a legitimate option to where you're a contending team. And Sue's already played here, so he knows.
It's like Andre Iguodala in the NBA. He's just wait until after the trade deadline. Wait till the second half of the season to find his team to go help them in a playoff run towards the NBA championship. Yep. Sue's in a very similar place. So
and Eric Burrow knows Sue is SOL. Would you guys agree with that?
No.
He was like the best part of the bad era of the Lions.
Yeah.
Like he was incredible
Seems
when
like
he
a
was
Dan
here.
Campbell guy, to be honest. Yeah. Like the most ideal Dan Campbell guy.
I know we're rushing a break here, but I think my gut's telling me if they're going to add more to the secondary, they go more veteran route, maybe going after a Tremont Smith. He's another cornerback on the Denver Broncos. He's 27 years old, $2.5 million left on his contract. They got the emergence of Marvin Mims out in Denver, especially in kick return. The kick return game. That was Tremont Smith's job before, so he's kind of fallen out of favor. He hasn't been playing that bad. You also got Marcus Peters. He's with the Raiders right now. His best days are behind him, but he's not very happy in Las Vegas. So maybe they go after someone like that, or hey, could you convince the Cardinals to trade you Asante Samuel? Chargers, excuse me.
Good one.
The Chargers? I don't think they would, but then Mike Hilton from the Bengals, they're trying to add cap space to re-sign some of their offensive weapons. Can you sneak one out of one of those, an AFC team?
Worth
thinking about. I doubt that would happen. Worth thinking about.
There's going to be options. I can't wait for the next few weeks to see what pops up. But we're building the defense, fellas. Guardian Alarm.
Yes, sir.
Customized solutions from real experts. That is Guardian Alarm right there. Our professional technicians, they take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring, calls anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. That is technology that is backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that is proven to work and people who have been proven to care. That is Guardian Alarm. Make sure right there, 1-800 stay out.
And that keeps the robbers, the burglars out of your garage where you have your nice new Chevrolet from Feldman, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. They got 18 locations, so there's definitely a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Just visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you, because since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience. They call it the Feldman Advantage. So catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet at Novi every other Monday.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has been delivering Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Just visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or order them online at fairwaypacking.com.
Is this the type of franchise, the type of team that you and your camp look at and say, yeah, I can go there and help them compete for a Super Bowl?
Yeah, man, I can bring, leadership, fun to be around. I'm not a problem child, a problem kid.
Oh, I get it.
And I can just teach them, help them slow the game down, man, because at the end of the day, everything is about formation and a little bit of motion. It's still the same play. They're going to run in 12 and 11 personnel. They're just going to make it look different. They picture paint. They paint you a picture to get to the poetry.
Man,
Rabbit
Janoris Jenkins on E&E today. I wanted to throw that in there. I know we just had the defensive conversation. Wanted to put that out there because he was on E&E today talking about, hey, he's ready to go. And we just had that conversation about, is there a veteran corner or veteran secondary player that could get to that position? I know it's a vet.
It is.
What do I say all the time, Broder? As you build your foundation and you bring vets in, whether they are, wherever they're at in their career, you bring them in to help out. So that's exactly how I feel about that and kind of where I'm at with it, to where, hey, if a veteran like that comes in, that just helps that secondary that much more.
Yeah, he's a ball hawk.
Yes. I think he has the most pick six. He has 10 plus pick sixes, the most in the last decade.
10 defensive touchdowns. I don't know if they're all pick sixes or fumbles. 27 takeaways. I think they're mostly interceptions, but
all pro.
He's a ball hawk, and he talked about that. I encourage you guys to watch the interview on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. We hear every day 2 to 4 o'clock.
Yes.
But he's one of those veteran pieces. He's available. He might be someone that Brad Holmes targets, and he happens to be pretty close with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They played together in New Orleans
and worked with Aaron Glenn there.
That's where I was going next. So
there's connections there, and it just is a vet. Whether he plays, 60, 70 snaps or 20 snaps, who cares? You have a veteran in that room that is, like you said, a ball hawk, to where if you need someone, he's there, and he's teaching these young guys that much. He's an all-pro. He's an all-pro corner. He's an all-pro player.
Just like we thought how the perfect fit with C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Kirby Joseph and Tracy Walker. Yep. Janoris Jenkins is that similar mindset, that similar style. Can help mentor those guys. Can help mentor the young cornerbacks like Stephen Gilmore, Khalil Dorsey, some of those guys coming up the ranks. So, hey, I'm not opposed for the right price.
I love it. Someone said, I'm not even going to read that comment. But we're going to get into it here. If you guys are watching, make sure you guys hit that like button. We really appreciate it. You guys all tuning in. Tell a friend about the show. Keep growing this thing. Slowly but surely. We're growing it here. Detroit Lions, huge Detroit Lions season. So we appreciate you guys all tuning in with us to talk about that. But, Broder, let's get into it. Wanted to go over this topic here. Detroit Lions all-pro players.
Update.
I want to kind of get a feel. We did it last week. I want to get a feel after this week 5 where everyone's at with it, because I do believe, I've said it 100 times, I do believe this Detroit Lions team has 2 to 3 all-pro players that will be on the all-pro team this year. Last year, I think we said that, or last week we said that some of those top teams had 6 or 7 all-pro players, and if you're in that category of a contender, you're going to have a few, and I think the Lions could have up to 3, maybe even 4.
So some contenders have 6 to 7 all-pros.
Isn't that what we had last year, the team?
Yeah, it was 6 or 7.
I think it was 6 or 7. I think that was like the Eagles, the 49ers maybe. The Chiefs might have had 6 or 7.
This is all-pro, not Pro Bowl?
Yeah.
I don't mean to doubt you. I'm just, if that is the case, I
believe so.
A damn good teams.
Yeah. And I can look it up here because it has teams. Last year, Kansas City Chiefs had 6. Last year, the Philadelphia Eagles, 6. 49ers, 6. So if you're on that level, like the Cowboys had 3 last year, Vikings had 3.
So that counts both all-pro first team and second team?
Yes.
Interesting.
All-pro in general, yep. So this is where I'm at with it. And people in the chat, Chris, can we do actually a poll? Who is a lock for all-pro?
Sorry.
Can we do Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell, and then, Broder, who else do you think we should throw in there? I don't want to give up my 2.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Sorry if that just gave you up, but he's got to be on there.
And then one more. Let's do a
Jack Fox.
Sammy Laporta, baby. Let's not sleep on it.
Yeah, we'll hold off on that because I have Sam Laporta here in the segment. No, you're good. That was one of my sleepers here. Just who is the biggest lock to become an All-Pro player for the Detroit Lions this year, and then those 4 guys. Let me go over my locks right now.
Hit me.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's in that middle ground to me because he missed a game.
Between 1 and 2?
Yes.
Or just between making
like
All-Pro
there's
and
a
not?
lock, and then there's possibility, and then there's the middle. Amon-Ra is like, if you miss games, it's hard as a wide receiver because you have to get that 1,400, 1,500 game. It's the stats. But for me right now, Aiden Hutchinson, lock. To me,
He'll be at least second teamer.
He's a lock to me. Penei Sewell right now, I think he's one of the best tackles in the game right now. He is a lock. As of right now, he is a lock. And the reason I say too with Hutch is if you guys ever want to look at it, go compare Hutch's stats right now to TJ Watt's. They're almost identical. And it's crazy. Outside of sacks, and it's almost identical. Did you have any? Is there a lock that I'm missing?
No. You went Hutch, St. Brown.
And then,
not St. Brown's not a lock, but he's in that middle ground.
Right. He's
Penei
like on
Sewell.
the edge. If he played last week, he's on the edge.
For locks, no. That's probably. I might put Frank Ragnow in as a lock.
Lock is tough. See, I think there's only there's only 2 centers.
Jason Kelsey is a lock. I think of Frank Ragnow as a top 3 center. So to me, I think if the Lions have success, he's already shown he's a huge part of this team. I don't know what it is about snapping the ball through Jared Goff's legs that raises his stock for me. There's just something about Frank Ragnow I love. He is.
You know what? I'll put him on that edge with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I won't say lock. I think it's fair to put him on that. Just because there's only 2 centers, I'll put him on that.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey takes one up, so he's fighting it for it.
Who's this 49ers center? I forgot. I got to learn their offensive line a little better. But I think Ragnow's in there. There's a name that I struggle with, but I think he might get the productivity. He might get the chances of building some stats and having the possibility to be All-Pro, maybe All-Pro second team. That's David Montgomery.
Oh, love that. Had that as one of my possibilities.
Right?
Love that.
There's so much about the running back and how the running game is changing. The value in the running backs is changing. But I think him, along with a Christian McCaffrey type workhorse, David Montgomery is going to get the ball. We've seen that. The Lions are going to use him to run behind that offensive line. I think David Montgomery will be in the mix at the end of the year. He'll at least be in the top 4. Not that he's the top 4 running back, but that you're going to use him like a top 4 running back.
Dude, no, you're 100%. I had him. I only had 2 possibilities right now. I think there might be more that pop up throughout the year. But if we're legit breaking it down, David Montgomery right now is 4th in yards per game at 92.8. He's on pace for 1,400 yards and 24 touchdowns, which is it's unheard of. And last year, the All-Pro running backs, if you just did a little bit of average, Josh Jacobs was kind of an anomaly. He was 17. He was just insane. But if you take out the other guys, they were about 1,500 rushing yards, 11-ish touchdowns, those guys were. And then maybe all-purpose yards, they were about 1,700. So I truly, truly believe that David Montgomery can be in that conversations. Now, that at the end of the day, you still have to put the numbers up, right? You still have to put the numbers up to be able to get that and continue that success. But I'm convinced.
I got a wild stat for you that I just remembered from the Barry Sanders statue reveal. Rod Wood got up and introduced part of the ceremony, and he threw in a stat there. He said he and some people, they spent a lot of time crunching these numbers, but they went through all of Barry Sanders' games and averaged out what his fantasy points per week would be, and he would average 18.7 fantasy points per game for his career. Josh Jacobs last year in that anomaly of a year was just over 16. Barry Sanders was the dude.
He was
the dude. So I had to sneak that in. But
David Montgomery. I'm with you on that. That was at the top of my list. The next guy I had here, I know Nick was ready to call this one out here for Sam Laporta, but right now Sam Laporta is the number 1 tight end in the NFL.
Can't deny that.
So if you're talking about an All-Pro player, you would be dumb to leave Sam Laporta. I'm not going to say it's a lock yet because it's a long season, and for a rookie, anything could happen. It would be dumb right now to leave him out of that conversation. Last year, George Kittle made the All-Pro team with 765 yards and 11 touchdowns. Sam Laporta right now is on pace for 980 yards, basically 1,000 yards and over 10 touchdowns. So he is on pace to have a better year than George Kittle last year.
Oh, hell yeah!
If you're on a 13-14 win football team and you're putting up numbers at your position is one of the best in the league, you're an all-pro player. And Sam Laporta, I think, is on his way right now to being an all-pro in his first season in the NFL.
Yeah, I for whatever reason, I don't think he's going to get it, but that's just a feeling. Right now, he's playing like it. He's proving it, and he might very well be there at the end of the year in his rookie season as an all-pro tight end.
How crazy is that?
That would be insane.
I guess we could talk about this next week when we talk about all-pros again, and I'll bring the stat, but I would like to know how many rookies have ever been an all-pro.
Sauce
Gardner.
Was Sertan his rookie year, or was that year 2? I think that was year 2. But Biggins, Sam Alporta. Alproda. It was good both ways. I didn't even read it the more funny way. So what about the rest of the offensive guys that I have, and we're wrapping this up right here. We said Frank Ragnow, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, David Montgomery. What about Jonah Jackson? What about Taylor Decker? I think Taylor Decker has got some competition at left tackle, but those two guys are they're top 10 at their position.
Yeah, top 10 to all pros. You might see a lot of the offensive line in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the Super Bowl, but you're going to see a lot of them in the Pro Bowl. I don't know how many. I guess I would like to see that too. Like how many of the offensive linemen? I know last year I think Philly's offensive linemen. I'm looking at it right now. Left tackle, they didn't have anyone. Left guard, they didn't have anyone. But center, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson made it. So, I mean, that was one of the best ones last year. I think they only had 2 guys as an all-pro.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, someone correct me on that in the chat. So I like your thinking there because they are great players. They're Pro Bowl players, but all-pro.
Yeah, no, that's a level up.
If the Eagles only had 2 all-pro players on that offensive line, I think it would be hard for the Lions to get more than 2.
Facts. What about on defense?
I'll give you Frank Ragnow and Penei Sewell.
Yes, those are. I think they're locks.
I'll give you those
locks.
2.
And we're going to tell them about Planet Fitness, but so you guys can think about it during break. I had Brian Branch, Cam Sutton, Aleem McNeil, and possibly Kirby Joseph as some defensive options for All-Pro. On special teams, Jack Fox and Khalif Raymond.
Broder throws out All-Pro like it's candy at a parade.
I didn't say they were going to win All-Pro. Booner just trying to cause trouble.
You get a car. Broder's up here acting like Oprah with the All-Pro team. I love it. That means we have great players.
Hey, rewind the video. Did I ever say they were going to make All-Pro? No, I didn't. I said these are the guys that might be in contention at the end of the season.
What is it?
Don't put words into my mouth.
I mess it all the time.
This is why you lose every argument.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you, Broder. All right, Planet Fitness. Broder, to get all of that mad energy out, go to Planet Fitness tonight, brother. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where
More of a
anyone,
morning workouter.
and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable on their fitness goals. And at Planet Fitness, you will experience squeaky clean gyms, not cleaned by Chris Platte, that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get it all for just $1 down and $10 a month, no commitment. Now through October 13th, that is $1 down and $10 a month, no commitment. That is over at Planet Fitness. Broder, where?
Your fitness is essential. And All-Pro.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
When it comes to your pet, don't settle. Just give your pet the best. And Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. They've been family owned and operated for over 30 years. They got 13 Metro Detroit locations and over 60 brands of food. So with the lowest prices, curbside home delivery, check out Premier Pet Supply. They truly give your pet the best. That's www.premierpet.com. shop.premierpetsupply.com. Woof.
All right, welcome back to the Oprah Show. We're handing out All Pro Awards like it's candy at a parade. We appreciate it, everyone, for tuning in to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already. Tell a friend about the show.
Tell a friend.
Ryan's reaction says, in quotes, we have 53 All Pros. Booner, 2023.
We have 69 All Pros 2022. This
Everyone
is a
on
69
the practice squad, All Pro. Coaching staff, you guys all Pro again.
I do love that Dan Campbell thinks of his team as being 69 man deep.
That is very fun. I love it.
Yeah.
And he purposely did that for sure.
No, that's actually the number.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't have
squad.
to say it, man.
What did he mean by that, Booner?
Yeah, I don't know.
Explain what that means. Urban Dictionary.
Tell us live on air. Urban Dictionary?
Pressure him.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah, me and Chris, we don't know. Me and Chris wouldn't know.
Till marriage, brother.
You Utes. You Utes.
All right.
If you tell me what movie Utes is from.
Well, that's the Utah Utes.
No.
Shout out.
No.
Yeah.
You. Let's get into it here. Last line segment, and then we're going to get into some NFL, our power rankings. But we're going to kind of revisit here a little bit. I don't have our old awards, but we're going to kind of go back over current awards through week 5. Basically just MVP of the Lions team, defensive MVP, offensive MVP. We have the Surprise Player of the Year award, and we also have the One Pride award. So,
yeah.
I don't know why you're laughing. Why are you laughing? We have the One Pride award. So the guy who's really stepped up and been that piece on this Lions
You can really
team.
get behind.
Yes. So, Broder, you know what? Why are you laughing? Can we go the camera over on him?
He's not laughing.
This
What are
is
you talking about?
unbelievable. I'm getting, what is it called when people try to convince you something?
Mollywopped.
No.
Bushwhacked.
Gaslit. I'm being gaslit in the studio here. I could use some help from someone.
My cousin Vinny, Coach Wog. That's what I'm talking about. You Ute.
All right, Broder, who is
Yes.
your MVP? Actually, no, let's go backwards here. Who is your One Pride Award player going to?
My award's going to go to Derek Barnes.
Oh, love it.
Our One Pride Award. I have no idea what the details to this award are of, but I think oh my gosh, I can't talk. Derek Barnes embodies what this team is. He's a guy that was counted out going into the season. They draft Jack Campbell in the first round to play alongside Alex Anzalone, and Derek Barnes answers the bell. He's one of those guys that everyone in that locker room loves. He's a really good human being, and he works his ass off.
He does.
Derek Barnes, he's playing very well. I just love to see him out there. You know, I had a hard time picking between him and Tracy Walker. I hope I didn't just steal yours, but
Nope.
Derek Barnes is my One Pride Player of the Year.
Love player. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Of the year. For some reason I was thinking of the week, but yeah, player of the year. I'm gonna go. Coach Y asked if we are there for. We need 200 likes for the dance. Not 100. We're halfway there. Halfway on the show. We're halfway in the.
If
likes.
everybody in the chat likes it, we'd be there.
We're 200 for a Booner dance.
212. That's the boiling point of water.
Yes.
We're on fire boiling right now.
We're boiling right now. But my One Pride player of the year so far is I'm gonna go with Brian Branch.
Facts.
It's a great one.
I didn't. He's missed last game. I don't want to give him the defensive MVP, but I wanted to find a way to get him in these awards because he's been so good for this Detroit Lions team. The Lions, and if we're being honest, guys, first of all, shout out Brad Holmes for drafting him, and shout out to the whole NFL for letting him fall to us. Shout out to the Green Bay Packers for letting us trade for Brian Branch. Shout out to Brian Branch for being Brian Branch because the Detroit Lions wouldn't be in the position they are right now without Brian Branch.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And when he gets back, you guys will see he's leading the team in tackles. When he went out, he was at least. I don't know about after this week because he missed it. But he has been that kind of, to me, that glue to that defense. As a rookie, it's insane. And he's had the pick six. He's had so many different, pass deflections, big plays. I talked about it all the time is when we did the stream, it felt like the first 2 or 3 weeks, every time there was a big play on defense, we were like, who is it? Who is it? Brian Branch comes out of the pile, and it was him.
Yeah.
I give him that award.
I love it. It's a great choice. And he's got an alliterative name with the double B's.
The double B's, yeah. Ooh.
Brian Branch, baby.
Big Boone.
Yeah, Big Boone. So, Booner.
Surprise player.
Your second one. Surprise player of the year. You want to take it?
I'll go first.
Yeah, please.
I don't know. and you're lying to me if you don't think this is a surprise, because I think everyone thought it was a surprise. Lucas was the only one that was like, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. And I had this conversation with Jeff the other day. I don't think Lucas even thought Sam Laporta was going to do what Sam Laporta is doing right now.
He didn't. 0% chance.
He had no idea. Not one person can convince me that they predicted Sam Laporta to be the number 1 tight end through 5 weeks of the NFL season. Not one person would be able to say that they did that.
No.
Sam Laporta is the surprise player of the year. That man is the best tight end in football right now, a quarter of the way through the season. He's continuing to be that piece on offense that the Detroit Lions, quite frankly, they needed that glue piece. They needed that safety blanket, and they've got it with Sam Laporta at an elite level.
The Elmer's Award, the glue
I hope I didn't
piece.
take it from you.
No, you didn't.
All right,
you didn't.
love it.
I'm very happy about it because I picked the man who has 14 receptions on the year, I believe, 13 of which went for a first down, 1 of which went for a touchdown. That's Josh Reynolds.
Oh!
Josh Reynolds. And that's even with the game not getting a catch. Was it Green Bay he didn't get a catch, or was it Atlanta? Regardless. Atlanta. Josh Reynolds, he's been that when we've needed him. And it's nothing against Sam Laporta or Amon-Ra St. Brown, those guys who've been safety blankets for Jared Goff. But Josh Reynolds, when we've needed a first down, he's been there to get it. Jared Goff has looked for him in big situations. And there's just something he's brought to this team alongside Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta that's really solidified this wide receiver group with Jamison Williams out. Even with Jamison Williams in, I think Josh Reynolds is a huge piece. He'd be in consideration for offensive MVP. He's not there for me, but he's in the top 5.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I've been a Josh Reynolds fan since the beginning.
Yeah.
I think our show too, him and Kohloff Raymond, we were like supporters of him.
Yes.
Because the last 2 years, they've always been, one of them have been wide receiver 2, statistically wise. Like, I believe it might have been Kohloff Raymond last year, actually, who was wide receiver number 2.
Yeah. Second most reception yards.
Yeah, and then Josh Reynolds was right there. So,
dude,
he steps up and he's very, very consistent.
A, Connor Bedard looks like he's 12 years old, and B, will you tell the peeps about the Lions
pregame show?
Pregame show.
Let me tell you
Yeah,
guys
the
about the
pregame show.
I don't even need the paper here because guess what?
Don't then.
I'm on the Lions pregame show. So make sure you guys tune in here before every single Lions game. That is the Woodward Sports Lions pregame show. Typically it'll be Sundays from 9:30 to 11:30. This week, time will probably be maybe, I don't know, because the game's at 4:15, so maybe it'll be like 1:30 to 3:30 or something like that. We'll have a different time. We'll have that out, actually. I'll reach out and figure that time out tomorrow. That is hosted by Jeff Ifrady. This week, I will be on the desk with him.
Company.
Weekly special guest, yes. Weekly special guest. Ryan Ermanni was last week. Neil Rule will probably be coming up. I bet Maz is coming up. Braylon. Everyone joins in on that show there.
Maybe I'll be there this week.
Maybe Broder will be there. So make sure you guys tune in on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Awesome. So, we got 3 more selections to make in the next 4 minutes. Offensive MVP, defensive MVP, and MVP.
Let's do defense real quick.
Okay.
We won't even talk about it a lot because I'm sure we both already talked about him.
I want you to go first.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I think it's you don't have to really explain yourself.
I think if Brian Branch played if he played on Sunday, I think he would have a case just from a statistical, ethical, moral way, but like it's hard to deny Hutch.
I was gonna say, do you want to know why I would say no about that?
Why?
It's because we keep talking about the Defensive Player of the Year standings, and Hutch is 4th. If you're competing for Defensive Player of the Year, like you're going to the 49ers and saying Nick Bosa isn't the MVP. Like maybe right now he hasn't been playing great, but you're not going to Pittsburgh and saying TJ Watt's not the MVP on this defense.
Yes.
Micah Parsons isn't the MVP on this defense. You're not doing that. And you look at the Lions, it's Hutch.
It's Hutch.
He's in that running for that
the
award.
valuable word. He is that V. He's valuable. He's the most valuable to his teammates.
Offense.
Yes.
Can I go first?
Please.
I hope
Booner.
I don't steal yours.
If you do, that's all right. I got a ski mask.
I am going to go my Offensive Player of the Year so far for the Detroit Lions.
Let him know.
One,
Let
the
him
only,
know. Let him know.
David Montgomery.
Wow.
You have to give that man some love.
Love it.
He is on track for 24 touchdowns. I know Jamal did it last year, and it was on track around the same time. He's been so good for this team.
He's the identity. Like, he is everything that the Detroit Lions are, and you love it.
He's doing what Jamal was doing, except he's actually like a step farther. He's like that much better. Like
he can do
go
more.
out
He's
in
more
space.
versatile.
He can do, he can make plays after contact.
Nothing wrong with Jamal, but David Montgomery is an upgrade.
We wouldn't be 4-1 without Jamal or without David Montgomery.
I'm going to go with the guy who when the offensive line was banged up, this guy, he went and played a different position and played it as well as most left tackles in the entire league, and that's Penei Sewell.
Love it.
I just think, again, it's an identity thing. He's not going to have the stats, obviously, although I did see some crazy stats, like he didn't allow a pressure in the last game. He's elite, and I think he's so important to that offense. Despite the offensive line being great from left to right, Penei Sewell is so important to this team, and I just got to give it to him, especially because my MVP is also on the offense. And I'll just tell you it because we're going to head right there. It's Jared Goff.
All right.
He's going to be my MVP this year. I think he's been such a steady force. He's been so steady. He's done all the things we could ask for. He lost his interception streak, which may be the only knock on his season. But Jared Goff, he's been playing great. He's playing into the MVP race. Yeah, into the MVP race.
I did something similar here. I told you before the show I was going to do this, but first time ever in MVP voting, there's a co-MVP. Going Jared Goff and Aiden Hutchinson.
Wow,
on each side of the ball. I couldn't pick between the two. Jared Goff has been elite, and he's been, we're not 4-1 without him. Aiden Hutchinson on the same side, the turnovers, the sacks, you're not 4-1 without him. They've been providing to me a very, very similar, thing to this football team that you need to be able to win. And without either of them, you're not in the position you are. So.
Facts. So, and also, you at home, if you want to rewind about 16 minutes, I was getting ridiculed by Booner about picking too many people to be all pro. And here he is giving co-MVPs. Come on, Booner. Yeah, you have an MVP. You have an MVP. Okay, Booner.
Sorry.
Tell us about Hamlin Pub.
Tell us about Hamlin Pub.
Yes, Hamlin Pub. Oh my gosh, I'm hungry right now. It's late. Haven't had dinner yet. I might stop at Hamlin Pub on my way home. Have you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular? I have. We have just the place for you. Head over to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone is a regular. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on a Thursday night for Thursday Night Football or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games, Hamlin Pub is the place. Visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports. Hamlin Pub. Go check them out.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Do you have football on the brain? Well, fall ushers in college and professional football, and this fall is already awesome. It's also a perfect time to shop for your home and auto insurance. So shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. So ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at SwissINS.com or call 248-800-4177.
All right, we're back here. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Thank you for the pen, Broder. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. At 200, I will dance. The Terry Foster chicken dance.
Bands will make you dance.
Yes, I will do that if we hit 200. Make sure you guys hit that like button, though. Make sure you tell a friend about the show. Share it around a little bit. Tell the people about Matthew Broder.
Do it.
And maybe me. It's up to you guys. But we're going to get into some of our power rankings, Broder.
I love it.
We do this every single Tuesday. I know basically every show does power rankings on Tuesday now. But since we're a new show, we were like, hey, we're going to do our power rankings.
Yeah.
Week 5 of them. So our week 5 Woodward Knights power rankings. Broder, I'll start with you. Start at number 10.
At number 10, a team that just missed the cut. He was one of my first 4 out last week, but they've performed 2 straight weeks in London and are making a rise up the power rankings. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars at 3-2. They just beat the Bills 25-20. I have them coming in at number 10. My 10th ranked team, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are
you 10 too?
Number 10. I pushed out the Chargers because the Chargers didn't play. So it was like they didn't do anything to fall out of my 10 spot. But Jags, you beat the Bills, I have to put you in.
Yeah, right.
If you're sitting there at 3-2 right now, I have to put them in.
They're looking like we thought they were going to look like. Calvin Ridley's getting involved. I see them keep going.
Number 9.
Number 9, tell me.
I have the Dallas Cowboys.
I like it.
Do you have them at 9?
I don't, but I like it.
I have them at 9. Now, I know we had this conversation yesterday. Are the Dallas Cowboys a top 10 team in the NFL? I don't think you can put them out of it yet just because they lost to the best team in the NFL that we've seen in a long time. They still have they still have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I can't hold that loss. I think last week I might have had them at 7, so I bumped them down a couple because of that loss.
Yeah, fair. I bumped them down too. Not that low, but they're coming in here soon. At number 9, I have a team that was on a bye week last week, so I'm keeping them at the exact same spot, the Seattle Seahawks. I think they're the 9th rated team. I've been seeing a lot of people have them even farther up the list, and I don't disagree. I think it's a little premature. I think beating the Lions is huge, but I got to see a little bit more. I like their team, but I got to see a little bit more.
Who did they play this week?
They had a bye week.
Oh, a bye week. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who they play coming up, but I got the Cowboys at number 8. They're my number 8 team. I had them at number 8 before, actually last week too, so I didn't even move them down.
Didn't move them.
I'm now kind of puzzled why I didn't do that, but I just think they fit in at number 8. I'm not willing to put them behind the Jaguars yet. I think Micah Parsons in that defense, Deron Bland's playing incredibly. There's something about him that's keeping me close, but I don't trust that offense, man. I don't.
I am going to go my number 8.
Yes.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh.
They're 3-1 right now. Their only loss is to the Eagles. They've beaten the Saints, the Bears, and the Vikings, and I know we know what the Bears and Vikings are. I feel like a lot of people might have the Bucs a little bit higher in rankings. I've seen them as high as 7 and 6 almost, I feel like, on some rankings. I feel like it's a little too high for a team that's only beat the Bears and Vikings, but I'm going to have them there. I know that's going to be a big game for the Lions, basically playing a top 10 team in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
On the road as well, so it's not a cakewalk.
Got to have it. What's your number 7? Power ranking number 7, Booner.
Seattle Seahawks.
Nice.
I had them at 7. They didn't, like you said, they didn't play, but they're still a great football team. We already know what they can do. I believe they're 3-1 as well right now. Just solid football team. Won 3 straight games since they opened the season with a loss. I'm not moving them at all. I think they're going to be at 7 in my rankings for a little bit.
Great coaching. Geno Smith, he's a quarterback who doesn't make many mistakes. He's not a superstar, but he doesn't make many mistakes. I love it. Kenneth Walker, I love him too. At number 7, I have the Baltimore Ravens. They had one of the tougher losses, like other than the Cowboys this last week. Like, this is a tough one to swallow.
They fell out of my top 10.
Did they?
Yeah, I mean, just the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers are decent, but
they're not playing very well, but they are the Steelers. Loss. They're Mike Tomlin Steelers. So that's that. I'm giving them a little extra juice for that, but I can see how you move
8.
them out.
I think they might have been at 8 in my rankings last week. I need to start bringing my previous week's rankings.
Yes.
I believe they were at 8 though, and a loss just pushes you out there. I can't keep you there or push you back.
Facts.
You fall
fair.
out.
Fair. My number 6, one of your favorite teams, Booner. It's the Buffalo Bills.
Same here.
Yep. They moved down. I had them as high as number 3 last week. They were climbing. They looked like it. They looked like they were one of the best teams in the NFL, and they still may end up there. They got the pieces, but they're Buffalo Billing right now.
You know what I think it was? I think it was the international game.
It might be.
The Jags were there for 2 weeks.
It's a fair excuse.
When we did the pick'em, I know I used the Bills to win it because I was like, the Jags are away from home for 2 weeks. I think the Jags just stayed there after that first game there. And I think they just got used to being there, the time zone, all of that. And the Bills, as soon as last week ended, they had to hurry up and get over to London or wherever it was played. And they had to get there and kind of get adjusted to the time zone practice.
It takes a couple days.
Yeah.
And you might not even be fully adjusted by the time you play.
The Jags were there for 2 weeks. It's just such a disadvantage. And it kind of looked like they just were struggling with it. They had some guys go down with injuries, which worries me. Matt Milano got a tough injury, probably out for the season. And so I have them at 6 as well. And that's my team.
All right.
I had to drop my team, my second team there, from 2 all the way down to 6. It hurt, but I did
There's
it.
a team we haven't mentioned yet on either of our power rankings. Still, we're getting to number 5.
Who's your 5?
You want me to just come out and say it?
Just say it.
It's the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
Number 5 in my power rankings is the Detroit Lions. They're showing me everything they need to move up and up. I was very, very close to inching them up even another spot to 4. And I was thinking about 3, but I still think the top 4 have earned their spots up there. But the Detroit Lions are playing as well as anybody. Granted, they haven't played the top competition, but they've done exactly what they've needed to do in those games. And they've done it like we said earlier. They're physical. They're using their big guys up front. They're creative. They're innovative. It's a very balanced team. It's weird, the feeling of them being,
it's crazy,
the finesse that they show and the creativity, but also the power. I can't get enough of it.
Can we do a poll, Chris? Can you just do, where are the Detroit Lions in your power rankings? Can we just do 3, 4, 5, or 6?
Or how about outside top 5?
Yeah, that's fine. 3,
You
4,
do it, we trust you.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5, and outside top 5. That is perfect. Because I do want to see where people think. I've seen them as high as 3. I've seen them as low as 6. And some people maybe 7. So that's going to be
Colin
interesting.
Coward had them at 8.
At 8?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting.
It's low,
Our next segment here at 9:30, we're going to show a couple of the ones around the national media. I have Pete Prisco. I have Stephen A. one.
I want to see that.
Seen yet, so I have a Stephen A. one. There's a couple of there's CBS, NFL.com. There's a few different ones. My number 5, though, this might be very surprising to you guys as well.
Uh-oh.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow. Interesting.
Yep.
Oh, you had them
behind the Lions last week.
Yeah,
as well.
so, okay.
I'm just kind of being consistent there.
Wow.
And it's not because they beat them or there's like, I don't know. It's not because of that. It's just I do feel like if they played next week again, especially, let's just not say they go on the road. If they played at home, I do feel like the Lions still could beat them.
Yeah.
And they still are a better team, like all around. And like even with the Chiefs dealing with injuries, Travis Kelce injured again. There's things going on, and I know no Chris Jones. Chris Jones is a great player, but I still feel like the Detroit Lions find a way. The way they've been playing and adjusting to teams, I still feel like they find a way to get the job done.
I have the Kansas City Chiefs up a little higher, and I don't put an asterisk on the Lions win in Week 1 against the Chiefs, but I do factor in Kelce and Chris Jones coming back and what I think of the Kansas City Chiefs. When you put them with a Patrick Mahomes-led team, with the Andy Reid coach team, it's hard to pick against the Chiefs, and I think they've earned the spot that they have, which isn't number 4 for me. I've got the Miami Dolphins at number 4.
So you have the Chiefs
maybe
way higher.
Maybe. I do. I have the Miami Dolphins at 4-1. They just beat the Giants. They took care of business, 31-16. Devon Achane. His name changes every couple of weeks. He's a stud. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
They are getting Jeff Wilson back. Raheem Mostert's playing while he's questionable.
They have a stacked offense.
Their offense is stacked, but I don't trust their defense yet. I need to see Jalen Ramsey come back and make a difference. They got players. I think they could end up there at the end of the season, but I don't trust their defense yet. So that's why I have the Miami Dolphins at 4-1 record at number 4 in my Week 5 power ranking.
I like that, Broder. I love that. But number 4 in the Booner Week 5 power rankings, I have the Detroit Lions, baby.
Oh, baby!
The Detroit Lions are the 4th best team. I put them ahead of the Chiefs. I still feel like they beat the Chiefs, but there are a couple more teams that I feel like are better than them. Number 4, I think, is fair. I think anywhere from 4 to 6 is like a very fair ranking for the Lions right now. I threw them in at number 4. Feel like that's a very, very fair spot to put them. I think it's a preference with them or the Chiefs. Or the Bills. Like I feel like the Lions we said it all show. They're going to compete with all of these teams no matter what in the playoffs. So it doesn't really matter where you put them right now.
All right.
My number 3 though,
please.
Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
Just like you said. I'll just second everything you said. Everything was perfect there. They have a great offense. It's really about what their defense can do and if they don't go on the road and get blown out by 30 points again.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that. At number 3, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. They're my number 3 team. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Just mix and match with those 3 through 6.
Yeah, I had them at number 4 last week. Miami Dolphins at number 5. I moved them both up one spot, and I'm just keeping it right there. Number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs. So which means at number 2, my guess is our top 2 are the same. The Eagles at number 2.
Yep,
I got the Philadelphia Eagles at number 2. Just beat the Rams. Just beat the Rams 23-14. They're 5-0. Not playing as well as the number 1 team, but they deserved it. Like you said, number 1, San Francisco 49ers. If anyone has them anywhere but 1 in the entire world, in the country,
okay,
they're idiots.
No, all right.
You're
No, I'm not. But there was a Peter Schrager today, and he is a
Schrags.
Lions guy.
I do like Schrags.
We love him. He did have the Kansas City as number 1, but that he is pretty biased with that because that is his Super Bowl favorite. He basically, his point was a little bit of a fair point. He was, hey, this Chiefs teams, they've been there, they've done that. If you put them up against the 49ers this week, he was like, I still feel like they have a chance to beat that team, which is fair. You still have the best quarterback in the league. If Kelsey's not injured and you have a great defense.
That's a good point. I still think it's a little crazy, but the fact that he picked the Chiefs and had that reasoning versus the Eagles or the Dolphins, I can live with that.
Yeah.
But San Francisco 49ers are far and away the best team in the NFL this year.
Yeah, and if you don't have the Detroit Lions in your top 5, you're probably smoking on something, and you should go over to Dispo.
Dispo, that's where you experience Dispo Romeo. They're a team that curates an exclusive atmosphere mixed with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. The flower, the CBD, the edibles, all of it. They're the first ever cannabis mall of its kind. It's conveniently located off of Van Dyke and 32 Mile Road in Romeo. Dispo Romeo is now open late, too. They're open till midnight every day except Sunday. So can it get any better than that? It definitely cannot. Head to Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com. They are your local cannabis plug.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway, take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Syntron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter for your chance to win. You can do that by registering at drinksyntron.com/Vegas or buying Syntron at your local Meijer store. It's Syntron, the healthier energy drink with great taste for the people who desire to look good, feel good, and be the best version of themselves. Go to drinksyntron.com/Vegas for more information. Wow, wait.
Wow, wait. Wow, wait.
We are back, baby. Let's go. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Tell someone about the show and share us a little bit. I want to, real quick, easy in the chat here. As said, Booner, where did you have the Seahawks at? Number 7? And he said, you have them that low? They beat the Lions? The Detroit Lions are a better, eyesight. If you're watching the game, I know they lost week 2. Better football team right now.
Yeah.
I also have the Bills at number 6 and the Dolphins at number 3. And guess what? The Bills beat the Dolphins by 30 points. So there's caveats to these
bada
lists,
bing,
man.
bada boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
here?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
He also doesn't like Jared Goff.
Oh, easy. Can we get we need an official tweet statement, a notes app statement that Easy is a golf guy.
No, it has to be a press conference.
Maybe a press conference.
It has to be a press conference where he answers at the pool pit and atones for his sins.
Yes.
All right, I agree. Easy, you heard it. I know you're still listening. We need a press conference that you are officially a golf guy. Right. Please. All right, we're going to get into this here. Again, make sure you guys hit that like button. But we're going to go around the league a little bit and see where kind of our rankings and the Lions rankings go around the NFL.
Petey Briscoe.
We'll do Pete last. All right. And I know, listen, this is usually the Clown Pete segment. Pete may or may not have respected the Detroit Lions this week. I think Pete has been watching the show, and he's gone, man, this Booner guy's really going at me.
You're the one he heard.
Some of those reels were just blowing up, and he might have
Facts.
a couple might have come across his desk, and he was like, all right, man, maybe Booner has a point. Maybe we need to respect. Yeah, he saw this face coming at him. He was like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. Turn the other way and put the Lions way higher on his list. But can we pull up the Stephen A. Smith one first here? Because if you guys, on First Take, Stephen A. each week does his top 5 teams in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And look who he has in the teams. Who he has.
Wow, Stevie.
The 49ers.
Even he can't believe it. Look at that.
Holy shark fins.
Eagles,
Lions
Chiefs,
fans.
Lions, and Dolphins. He almost had a similar one as me. I had the Lions at 4. If you just flop 3 and 5 there, that's Booner meet Stephen A. Stephen A. meet Booner.
The man knows ball.
Nice to
it
meet
looks
you.
like. The man knows ball. And LeBron James is my best friend. The man loves ball. He knows ball. I didn't expect him to have such a crisp list, but I'll take that. Lions at number 4.
Yeah,
I love it.
So that's Stephen A. That's huge. That's huge. I feel like Stephen A. putting him in their top 4.
Yeah, hey, the bandwagon is just about full.
Maybe the biggest name in all of just sports media in general.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah,
huge.
I agree. That's why when I saw that, I had to put that. Chris, if you just want to, you could throw anyone up besides
Didn't know if I could make that cut.
The graphic with the actual pictures on it. If you just want to throw any other ones up.
Yes, sir.
Because the Detroit Lions, they're consistently in the top 10 or top 5.
So who is this? This is Pro Football Talk? Not Pete Prisco?
Not Pete Prisco.
Got Lions at number 5, right in front of the Seahawks, right in front of the Jaguars, Bills, Bucks. It's good. Colts ahead of the Ravens, Steelers ahead of the Ravens.
You see the Bucks at 10.
Falcons, Saints.
You want Pete Prisco or not yet?
Okay, well, real quick, something interesting on this list I just noticed. Remember how I said Ravens dropped out of my top 10? And I said it's because they lost to the Steelers. The Steelers are at number 11 on this list, and the Ravens are at 13.
Wild.
That's an interesting one there.
How about Patriots at number 32? Bears at number 26. Is this Adam Rank? Adam?
No, to be honest, a lot of them I've seen the Bears at around 25, 26, 27.
Right.
They've moved up. They won a game.
They got weapons, baby. They got weapons. They're just a really horrible team.
Oh my God! Look at number 24, 26, and 27.
And the NFC North champions should be the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a huge disappointment.
I want to break these down by division. The Detroit Lions at 5, and then the next team in the division at 24, and then the next 26 and 27.
That has to be the biggest gap in this ranking, right?
Has to be.
And how wild is it that all their conference games are near the end of the season? Minus the Packers game that already happened. I think their next conference game is the Packers on Thanksgiving, and they squeeze all 5 in
at the end.
At the end, it's bizarre, including a game with the Broncos, the number 30th ranked team.
There was
a fire sale, a fireman like Lil Wayne.
Fireman, all right. There was a bet though on one of the betting apps that was before the season. I think it was 1,300 or maybe 1,800
tequila
for the Detroit Lions to go undefeated in the NFC North. And I kept, you know what? This is where you guys see where I'm sometimes actually really stupid. Is I kept giving it out on shows and talking about it and talking about it and talking about it, and I never put the bet in.
Boone.
And then I went back.
It's terrible.
I went back because I went back after the Thursday night football game. I was like, all right, they haven't played division games yet. Like, I'm just gonna go get it in real quick. Gone. Brutal.
Back,
you can throw. Don't
back,
throw the Pete Prisco one up next. Just throw. There's some of these screenshots with little paragraphs here. There's two of those, and then there's Pete Prisco.
Yep.
Essay time.
I think this one might be not ESPN. I think this might be NFL.com. They have the Detroit Lions ranked 6, moved up from 7 last week. I don't know if we want to read the whole thing. It's a long.
Well, for the audio only, I'll be super quick. Everyone, bear with me. You can't give the Detroit Lions too much credit for decisively beating the Panthers at home. That said, the Lions won big last week while a number of their difference makers were sidelined. Detroit has become a consistent, complete football team that is a true NFC North contender. Excuse me, a true NFC contender, like Mark Wahlberg said. The Lions get 2 tough weeks. That wasn't in the read. I'm just, the Lions get 2 tough weeks, bad matchups over the next 2 weeks. So. You said this is ESPN or CBS? No, it's not CBS because that's Pete. But hey, here's another one. They're up 5, up 2 spots.
I think this might be an ESPN.
This looks like an ESPN, I believe. I'm not going to read that whole one.
Yeah, go ahead, read that, Broder.
You want me to?
No, I don't. All I see in there is Hallmark.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I just think, to be honest, I think top 5 is fair. I think at 5, everyone should have the Detroit Lions at least at 5. I think that's a very fair thing. And you guys already know here in the chat, if you guys have been tuning into the show the last 5 weeks, there's been one person that I've been clowning and going at this whole time, and that's the one and only Pete Prisco, where first couple weeks, he had the Detroit Lions at like 11, 12. After the Seattle loss, he dropped them all the way down to, I think, 18 or 19. During the whole first 4 weeks of the season until we played the Packers, he had the Packers ranked in the top 8 all season long and had the Detroit Lions ranked multiple spots behind him. That man has been clowning the Detroit Lions, and guess what? We talked about it, we addressed it, we went to him, and he changed his mind. That man, Pete Prisco, congratulations for knowing football now. You're back on the not the bandwagon, but you're back on for football. He has the Detroit Lions as the 5th best team in the NFL, and he does not have the Green Bay Packers in his top 10, thankfully. But look at that. That's a beautiful
Tampa Bay
thing.
6 kind of wild, though.
That is, I think it is too. I had them at 8, but at 6, he put them above the Cowboys, Seahawks, above the Bills.
10. Wild.
The Bills just beat his number 4 team that he has up there by 30 a week ago.
That's why he's still a little crazy. Sorry?
About a week ago.
I'm not dancing. 200 likes, I'll dance. Can you pull up the second one there too? Because I wanted to show the people where he put his beloved Green Bay Packers.
Do you remember where they were last week? Were they like 11 or he?
I think he had Detroit Lions at like
10,
8 or 9, and then had them at like 11 or 12. So he moved them back pretty far this week too.
Very far, if I remember correctly. It just showed like there's something about after the first week or two, I have a problem with those drastic changes. Unless something big happens, a player's injured and they look bad, like a key player's injured and they look bad, I have a problem with them making big changes from going 11 to whatever this number the Packers end up
crazy.
Up as. Nick, I know with the last graphic, you had something you wanted to say.
Yeah, just wanted to throw this out here. I was pretty similar as Pete there. I got the Lions at number 4 in mine with just the Dolphins,
Let's go.
Eagles, and San Fran above that. Just wanted to put that out there. Lions are number 4. Yeah.
What's your 5?
I got my top 4 right now.
You have the Chiefs at 5?
Yeah.
All right, we have the exact same top 5.
Shout out, boys.
That's my guy over there.
Lions 4 and climbing with that week's schedule. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, everyone, on Tuesday and Sunday mornings, we got the Woodward and Main show. That's our Lions Insider show that I host with Gabrielle D. Phillips and the legend Terry Foster. We will be live 8 to 9 a.m. on Sunday before the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
you guys
game.
moving it up
I believe we're going to do it at the same time, but to be determined. As of right now, Sunday 8 a.m.
TBD.
But Booner, could you tell them
let's talk about a big boy real quick. The big fella's in the middle, in the trenches. Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Look at those. That looks so good, man. Try the best cheeseburger or the new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. And if you want some chicken, try the Dolly chicken sandwich. Turn up the heat with the Bob's hot chicken sandwich. You can upgrade the fries to the chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries with those. Unreal, by the way. And if you want some dessert, indulge in the Big Boy's Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake or the funnel cake fries, which are also unbelievable. That is only over at Big Boy.
Funnel them into my mouth.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Five Iron Golf is downtown's newest sports bar. They've got 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and most importantly, a full bar and restaurant. Five Iron Leagues debuted September 11th. They're back. You have a chance to compete nationwide for a chance to win a trip to the Dominican Republic. You can bring a foursome or sign up as an individual to be placed on a team. You do so at 5irongolf.com.
Five Iron.
Five Iron.
Great spot. Love Five Iron, man, when we go there on Thursday nights.
I never use my 5 iron, though.
I do.
Drive it to the
actually,
7.
My 5 iron is my favorite. The last couple times I've gone out and played golf, I don't use my driver. My driver broke. I have to get it turned in to get a new one.
Use my driver.
I'm bad with my driver. My 3-wood I was good with. I started hitting my 5 iron. Very, very good. Hit it off the tee box all the time now. So, hey, I appreciate you guys all tuning into Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Make sure you guys hit that like button. The doc in here said I'd use my wood.
Yeah. I was wondering, what is it like teeing off from the women's tees? Like, does it make it easier?
It's like really far up.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Cuts off.
But that allows you to use your 5 wood. 5
yeah,
iron.
you could definitely change for sure. I don't do that though. Lucchini said Booner bad driver confirmed. If we're actually talking about real driving, I grew up a fan of NASCAR and F1, so I just every time I hop in my car, I feel like I'm in a race.
Like speed.
But real quick in the chat here, I don't know if Easy's still here though. He might have left, but the MVP talk about the Jared Goff. I know you guys before the season, you guys kind of had a bet. You were on the heavyweights. Mentioned that you believe Jared Goff could get potential votes as an MVP if the Lions are winning 13, 14 games. What is right now? I want to get your meter on it because Easy still seems to be on the side where there's no chance he gets one MVP vote. If the Lions win 13, 14 games, how confident are you? Where's that meter, that Goff MVP meter?
He'll be in the top 5. He'll get MVP votes, and he'll be in the top 5. I don't know if it'll be enough for him to win it, but Goff will be in that mix. He's playing like it, and I think his stats are going to improve from what they ended up last year. He might have a few more interceptions, but I factor that into my thoughts. And there is an article I wrote on woodwardsports.com about Jared Goff being in that top 5, at least getting votes for that top 5. And for the record, I never made a bet. We never bet with Easy, but we had a heated argument, as everyone who's watched the heavyweights knows. Speak easy over there. He's been pretty stubborn in his support of Jared Goff to the point it got outrageous. But all my point was that he before the season was going to end up getting top 5 votes. He was going to be in the mix,
which is fair. I don't know too. When you guys were going at it like there, I remember I came in during one of the shows and sat down and got in a screaming battle with Easy on one of the heavyweight show, and it didn't just end on the air. It was off air. Me and Easy were probably going at it for 45 minutes after the show, just yelling back at it. And I know he probably remembers that, but we were going back and forth because there is a chance, like if you put up some numbers, you could get a vote. If you're sitting there at 14 wins, even like say you have 15, which is outrageous, 13 wins. For
the Detroit Lions,
and you have under 10 interceptions, and you have 35 plus touchdowns, and your passing yards are up there with the top 3 guys. That was where my point was. I do remember though, and shout out to Broder, just put it in the chat. I think that's the article he put in there of Jared Goff getting that top 5 MVP.
Facts.
So that was kind of where I was on your side for a little bit with that.
It was supremacy and a jersey bet, Booner. The Easy had with somebody in the chat. I was actually training on sound, and I was listening to it all, and I was with you guys. If he got to 13, 14 wins and was a huge reason why, I could definitely see top 5 votes.
Hell yeah.
Which is fair. I mean, that's a good bet to have for supremacy because if they do win 13, 14 games, there's going to be a conversation if he takes care of the football, and he's a big part of that.
And the point you made last week about Christian McCaffrey not being able to win the MVP because he's a running back. Jared Goff plays the quarterback position. So there we go.
Quarterback league, man.
There we go.
Quarterback league.
But did you see we got 2 minutes. I'm gonna sneak around this show rundown. There was a crazy ranking I saw, and I believe you sent it or we're talking
to Kool-Aid this morning.
Kool-Aid too. It was ESPN. They ranked Chet Holmgren ahead of Cade Cunningham in terms of the top 100 players in the NBA.
Did we have that graphic,
Platte, if you have that graphic, could you throw that up? It's the most absurd, one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Put it in Slack.
I sent it to Kool-Aid this morning when I saw it on Instagram. I sent it to him, and at first he didn't realize. It was funny too because of the text thread. He didn't realize that Chet was ahead of him, and he was like, "Oh, it's fine. Like they're just like Cade will prove them wrong." Because I think he thought it was this Cade at 75 or whatever it was. And then I texted back. I was like, "No, bro. They have Chet who hasn't played an NBA game.
Yeah.
Cade Cunningham who has not just played in the NBA." He has put numbers up in the NBA, averaging what? Over 20, 8 and 7, 8 and 6, whatever it is, a game as a career already. And they already just put Chet Holmgren, which and Chris, and Nick, you guys are Pistons guys. Chet Holmgren's going to be a great NBA player.
Yeah.
He's going to, like, just his size, like, what he's been doing. Last night he played in the preseason. He scored 20-plus points in 15 minutes, in 10 rebounds. Like, he's going to be a good NBA player. Is he going to be better than Cade Cunningham? No.
No.
Not in my opinion. And the fact that Cade Cunningham has already put the numbers up in 2 seasons. I know he sat out last year, but in his rookie year and put those numbers up, which all basically coincided with LeBron and Michael Jordan's rookies numbers. And when you look at it side by side, when they were putting all those stats up, he had one of those rookie years. Absurd that he is at 75 and Chet Holmgren's at 74.
I don't know one argument. I don't know one argument that they could make because you can't even make the injury argument.
No, it's disrespectful. Chet was injured.
Yeah, exactly. It's disrespectful.
One player has numbers already solidified in the NBA and the other doesn't.
Cade Cunningham's numbers last year before he got hurt was 26-6 on one leg basically before we shut him down. He is going to be an absolute dog this year. I made the statement prior to this season. He's going to be in contention for the most improved player, and I believe the reason why the Pistons can flirt with the play-in game. Chris, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, right now he's got the 3rd highest odds for most improved, and I expect that number to even climb potentially going forward. Cade Cunningham is him, and he's going to prove it. And, we saw this last year. They ranked Herb Jones over Cade Cunningham, and I like Herb Jones. Herb Jones is a guy I want on every NBA team. I love that guy. But there's a difference between being good in your role and being a star. And Cade Cunningham is a star. He has proven he's a star. And you don't have to go further than forget the list. Because I don't care about the list. Look at what the Hoopers say. Because those are always the next people to call it. Kevin Durant was the first person to call Giannis. He was the guy who was like, Giannis, he doesn't know how good he is yet. But when he figures it out, he's going to be a problem. 2-3 years later, Giannis is the best player in the NBA. These guys know it. Kevin Durant said the same about Devin Booker. He said the same about Cade Cunningham. Like, the Hoopers know that Cade Cunningham is a real deal. There's a difference between being a good role player, which every championship team needs, and being the star. Cade Cunningham is going to be the one on a championship team. At worst, the 2 on a championship team. Herb Jones is your 6th, 7th best guy on a championship team.
He is. And then real quick, before we go to break, I'm looking here. I'm on a sports book, and you guys know I always look at the odds to see kind of where where Vegas and kind of people are feeling things out like this. MVP, and I know it's crazy, Cade Cunningham and MVP talks, right? Cade Cunningham's sitting there at plus 7,500, probably top 30, I think. Yeah, probably about top 30, top 40 in the league for MVP.
Where's Herb Jones?
Herb Jones not on the list. Guess what? Guess who else is not on the list?
Chet
Holmgren's not even on the list. Jordan Clarkson's on the list, and Chet Holmgren, I do not see him on the list. John Collins is on the list. Bojan Bogdanovic is on this list. I do not see Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
So that puts it into perspective. You have not played a game in the NBA. The fact they did that, and Kool-Aid put it the best way. He tweeted it out. Said don't even listen, and I guess we just gave it a little bit of a segment, but he was like, don't even give this rankings any time. It's obviously all just clickbait for them. But let's move on from that. I'm gonna tell you guys about Lady Jane's.
But real quick, wait, before you do that, everyone get your questions in the mailbag. Tomorrow, we're going to have Michael Gentry, our Woodward Sports Network Detroit Red Wings beat reporter. He's going to be joining the show about 8:30. So come on in. We're going to prepare the season. It's going to be our little bit of a Red Wings preview. Their season openers Thursday, their home openers Friday. So Michael Gentry at 8:30 tomorrow night.
Yes. All right. Come over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite. for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That is right. No expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. You can bring me if you want. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
It's wicked awesome. But what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years, 29 and 2 for 50, you expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They got the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. They're on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford also in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live in 2 Mondays from now, right before Monday Night Football against the Raiders, starting probably about 5 o'clock p.m., going all up until game time. It is the official Lions tailgate. It is back, and it's better than ever. So come pregame with Woodward Sports Network and be treated like a VIP. We got food, beverages, entertainment all included. Get your tickets today at bullseyeeventgroup.com. Let's go. Down the wire. We're here.
Final stretch, baby.
Woo, boy.
It is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Appreciate you all tuning in. We're getting into it. Mailbag. Drop your questions for mailbag, please, everybody. Make sure as well you guys hit that like button. I know everyone wants to see me dance. We're still 80-something away, 78 away, I think, right now. So make sure you guys want to see the dance. Hit that like button, or we will try again tomorrow. Mailbag, though, let's start us off. Let's see, what do we have here? Who I just lost it. It literally just went down. Who will return versus Tampa Bay? Branch, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. Corey Berry, all 3. Everyone will be back. I think Amon-Ra got his rest. It sounded like today Dan Campbell came out on a certain place and said that he's basically looking good. He feels good about him playing. Brian Branch, I heard someone today say, I think it might have been Jeff, someone mentioned, felt like he could have played last week, but they had a week. They were able to get him a week off in a win. And Gibbs, feel like it's the same thing. Hamstring, should he be back?
Couldn't have said it better, Booner.
Thank you.
Steve Lehman, mailbag. Will we ever see Broderick Martin?
That's a great question. That's a new question.
I hope so. I think we're going to learn. We're going to learn how soon we'll see him, depending on what they do at this trade deadline. To be honest, I'm surprised we haven't seen him, at least on the active roster yet. He'll be in there at some point. Whether he's the piece that we thought he was going to be this year or not, that'll be decided at the trade deadline. But, man, that big boy needs to play.
Speaking of Broderick Martin, I know we have the insider with us. So how have you seen his demeanor in the locker room, because he hasn't been playing on the outside?
Oh, it's been good. It's been good. They got really good veterans. The defensive line, they're very close, and they all sit together. He sits, I believe, right next to Lee McNeil, and he's always positive. He's got this amazing personality. I don't think he's not a guy you have to worry about in the locker room. He's a locker room plus guy.
Love to hear that.
Mailbag here as well. Where's it at? IT Hips.
Yes.
Odds makers have the Red Wings making the playoffs at plus 200 this season. Is this year that they finally get back into the playoffs? I would say plus 200. I'm going to look at that bet when we get off air here. I might place that bet. Yeah. I think the Wings are in this year.
They got tough. We'll see what kind of drop off Boston has. We'll see whether it's the Senators or the Sabres. Are they going to take that next step up? They're in competition. That Atlantic Conference is tough. Tough.
All right, here's a huge one. Chris Platte. Why is Booner so cute?
Oh,
I don't know. Ask my wife that.
Oh.
Don't have a wife.
Oh.
Or a girlfriend.
I didn't know how to
single. Got you guys.
How to go there. Mailbag, what are we going to talk about tomorrow? Ranks, news, or animals? Or animated
animals.
Ranking and rating animated animals. No, we're gonna sneak. We're gonna have at least 45 minutes an hour with the Lions. We're gonna start
Red Wings tomorrow.
Yeah, Red Wings with
Gentry's
Michael Gentry
on.
tomorrow. We're gonna start teasing that season, which starts Thursday. We're gonna add in a little bit more Pistons each and every day. That season's coming down the ranks. So, how it's structured, you'll have to come and see.
This is a great one. Uncle Neil's soft feet. You have to drop one of these players in fantasy football. J-Mo or Josh Reynolds. Who are you dropping?
Wow.
I don't have either on my team.
J-Mo.
Yeah, I guess J-Mo, but I do think he has obviously the upside to where he could probably pass up Josh Reynolds. So that's a tough one. I don't even know who I would up.
That's a great question, though.
That's a tough one.
Mailbag from John Macaroon. The Doc. Mailbag. Will Sam Laporta date Rihanna?
Oh, that would be a great
baby.
Woo.
It's a tough one. I don't know if she can get him to
Rocky's
stay.
got that on lock. He's got 2 kids with her. He's got 2 kids in the span of like a year and a half.
Isn't she a princess too?
Back
Or
to
queen?
back, like he was Drake. Sorry, that wasn't.
No,
that wasn't
I like it. I like it.
I would love Sam Laporta to date like a big celebrity.
Does he have love on the brain?
What do you mean?
Was that a Rihanna?
I believe.
Is that a Rihanna
Yeah, I
song?
didn't realize it would get Booner that easy. Come on, you guys. You've heard that Rihanna song? Must be love on the brain.
I don't know if Sam Laporta is single.
He's not. He has a
I don't
girlfriend.
think
Yeah, because when Jeff told me that he was,
Is it stable, though?
Jeff was
No,
walking in Birmingham, and obviously that picture, and Jeff was like, I was with my girlfriend, and he was with his girlfriend, and I didn't want to bother him and do anything. I was like, dude, you should have been like, hey, like
double date.
You're from Iowa. You probably have no friends around here right now. You probably just go home and chill with your girlfriend, hang out, go to the facility, come back, go to dinner in Birmingham. I was like, dude, why didn't you just be like, hey, this is my girlfriend, this is your girlfriend, like, do you guys want to go grab some dinner, grab some lunch, and like just be friends with Sam Laporta? Like, it was set up so easily.
Yeah, but you got to be careful with that, Boone. Speaking from experience, the girls got to vibe. If the girls don't vibe, then it just doesn't work.
It's happened. You went on a double date with an NFL player and his girlfriend.
I've heard.
Who was it? It was like you and Jared Goff and his girlfriend. You guys were a fiance. You guys were on a double date.
No, if it was me and Jared Goff's fiance, Jared Goff would be going home alone.
Ooh, boy.
Shots fired.
We're done for the night. That's it. We appreciate you guys all tuning in to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Make sure tomorrow you guys come back 8 p.m., 8 to 10. Lions, Mike Gentry on the show. Massive show tomorrow. Again, hit that like button before you guys leave and leave a comment once the stream is over. Appreciate you guys always. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Toodles.
Love you guys.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.